Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. I have been travelling for the better part of the last few weeks, and then I've had exams. Once I got back I was off, doing Christmassy things, but now I'm back. There are a lot of One Piece card reveals I have got to catch up on. I think it's like 20 or 30 or something, so this is going to be a densely packed video with lots of thoughts. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, but if you are interested in more One Piece content, please do subscribe to the channel. 80% of you guys are not, and honestly, the number going up really does make me quite happy. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we kick off with the SR from the Big Mom starter deck, the new one outside of Katakuri, Charlotte Linlin. On play, your opponent chooses one of the following: trash one life card from the top card of your opponent's life area, or put one card from the top of your deck on top of your life area. So literally life or death in the game. Or just on a thematic level, this is absolutely amazing. This is, I feel like this is the absolute perfect card design in terms of that theme, which is really cool whenever we do see cards like this that fit in really well. In terms of the power level of this card, I'm pretty torn. A 7/8 is not amazing, but the effect is very powerful, right? Like if this just said heal 1, I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. Or if this just said burn 1, I'd be like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Kaido has to don -7 to do that, for example. On top of that, though, I think the thing that irks me is, obviously, I mean, if this had counter, it would be way too good. It's like an instant 4 of an everything. This not having counter is necessary to balance it. I just feel like you're not going to be doing a huge amount of stuff on the turns you use this. That being said, this is still a fundamentally broken effect. And, if your opponent's on 0 life, then, they always choose, like, this does nothing. But in that point, you're never going to play this card if your opponent's on 0 life, so, do you really care? I don't know, I think this card, on balance, is just incredibly strong. I don't want to say broken, because with a lot of cards, we have to actually get it and try it out. But in theory, this seems like it's one of the better cards in the game, for sure. Okay, then we have got Queen Mama Chanta. So this is the stage card from the starter deck. Activate main, rest a stage. You may add one card from the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. Place up to one of your characters at the cost of 3 on top of the owner's life area face. So I get what they're going for here, because there are a lot of triggers in the Big Mom starter deck which activate when you take the life. So obviously the idea here is you, for example, realistically you're gonna swing with whatever you've got on the board that has a trigger to play it. Or even if it doesn't have a trigger to play it, it's kind of like fine. If you just kind of want to, not have it, if it has an on play, you want to keep using it again or something like that. And then you rest this, draw a card from your life, and then you just slap that card back on top. I get what they're going for. I don't know if it's actually going to be worth the effort. The problem with stage cards is they're intensely bricky once you've gotten them more than once. I don't know how good this one really is. I mean, you are losing board presence, which we know is very important in this game. So it doesn't strike me as super busted, but the combo potential here could make it go from like fine to really crazy broken very easily, because once you have that setup where you have the one card you want to keep using, especially if it's a really crazy on playability, then you can just keep playing it every single turn. And we know, spoilers, there is a yellow-black leader in this set, so that's worth considering. Are there black cards with a cost of 3 or less that are suddenly really, really crazy? Maybe. We'll need to see where this goes from here. But definitely something you're going to want to be considering. Then we've got a promo Sanji here. This is a 3-drop 4k with 1k counter. Don 1, while your life area has 2 or less life cards, this character gains 2,000 power. So it swings for 7 when that condition is met. It seems fine. Nothing crazy broken. Decent promo. Seems fine, yeah. Good art. Okay, then we've got, this is an old art, Jin. So this is East Blue and Krieg Pirates. This is one of the rares in the set. On play, if your leader has the East Blue type, rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So this is very powerful. However, your leader having the East Blue type, I believe, is just Arlong, who we discussed previously, but it was originally mistranslated, so I will be discussing him again because we got all the leaders revealed. But, the fact this is a 1k counter means this is kind of a really stress-free, easy 4 of inclusion. Even if you rest one card, this is very good, right? Like, we've seen just how powerful the new Yamato is from set 2. And the fact this is kind of strictly better, especially early game when you want to be controlling. If you've got anything on board, you can slam this guy down and then just start pressuring your opponent and clearing their board. I think this is really, really, really good. Okay, then we've got Zeus. This is one from the card from the starter deck. This is a 3/3, so notice we can loop this with with the stage that we just discussed, because the trigger is to play the card, and it has a 1k counter, so you can get rid of it from your hand if you don't want to play it. Activate main, you may rest this card up to one of your Charlotte Linlins, gains banish during this turn. So that includes leaders. This is really good. If you weren't aware, the banish keyword is kind of nuts. Really, really powerful keyword, denying your opponent that card advantage. So I want us to keep this card in mind as we move on. But this is obviously, we see the synergy here, right? Because it's an activate main to just rest it. It's a very prime target for removal, but you don't care because you can just use the stage to instantly chuck it back, and then it's going to play out, and it's going to be active, so your opponent probably isn't going to be able to instantly deal with it. Obviously, vulnerable to a huge amount of removal, but the point remains, this is a crazy, scary card. Alright, then we got this promo, Monkey D. Luffy, 4/5, 1k counter, activate main, you may return this character to the bottom of your own deck to draw a card. It's Straw Hat Crew traded, so, you know, it's fine, unlikely to see any real play, but it's a cool promo. Then we have got Buggy. Bro, alright, so 1-drop 3k. This character cannot be KO'd when battling / attribute characters and leaders, so some theme there. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 red event, and add to your hand, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So I just want to say immediately, you probably play this in Zoro, kind of regardless, because you can search for pistols, you can search for Diablo Jambes, and then if you happen to be playing any other defensive events, cool, that's just a bonus. Outside of Zoro, you might be like, okay, well, I don't really know, because obviously this is also searchable with Gaban, whatever her name is, the 2-drop, and, you know, synergy with the whole Zoro thing, because it's a 4k, slap one on it, it's 5k, wow, suddenly it's really, really good. However, when we're gonna, I want you to keep this card in mind when we move on to the Ace leader, who we knew was getting a leader, because he is very event-based, and this is going to be a staple of all staple 4-ofs in that deck. Okay, then we have got Blueno. This is our first black card from the set. This is a 5-drop 6k, CP9 traded with 1k counter. Don 1, this character gains blocker. So, okay, not a massive fan of having to don cards to get a blocker, but alright. On KO, play up to 1 character card with the cost of 4 or less with CP and its type from your trash and rest it. Immediately, this card is very, very good. Honestly, I don't know if you'll how often you'll even want to bother with the blocker effect, because just having a 6k that's sticking on board is really, really good. But also, a 6k blocker is very nice, and you can just let it die, and suddenly you're getting back some really crazy value here. I think this is a very powerful card, definitely going to see play in that Bob Gucci deck, and maybe even outside of that. Okay, now we've got all the leaders, and spoiler alert, they're basically all good. So this is Ace, this is red only. When this leader attacks or is being attacked, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand. For each card you trash, this leader gains 1k power during this battle. So I think this happens before the counter step, but not 100% sure. We'll need to clarify on that. But importantly, you can do this as the aggressor. So if you just got a fat hand of events and you want to close out the game, that's something you can do. This is a really interesting effect that basically lets you convert all of your dead events in your hand into 1ks with no active dons. Now that being said, 1k isn't, you know, the best. It's not incredible, but that versatility is definitely worth something. It's also Whitebeard Pirates traded, so you do have all those synergies, all those cards that required Whitebeard Pirates, such as your own Ace from set 2. This card, it seems fine on the surface, but when we're going to look at some of the support it's gotten, or in particular one card, but obviously the Buggy is really good as well, it starts to get a little crazy. Okay, then we've got Kuro. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, 2 East Blue, Kuro, and then also there's going to be Arlong. Activate main 3. You may pay 3. You may rest 2 characters with the East Blue type. Set this leader as active and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So this is Kid with a very hefty cost. Yes, you pay the 3 like Kid, but then you have to rest 2 East Blue characters. Oh man, that kind of sucks. Having to just rest those cards. We know that that's really bad in this game. Like, when you have to rest characters for costs, it's just making them a prime target. Like, yeah, okay, you can say, oh, it's making them blockers. Sure, but if you lose board presence, then, you know, that's kind of a fast track to lose the game. That being said, resting one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 5 or less, that's most blockers in the game. And restanding, this is a really powerful effect. And fundamentally, it does have that Kid thing of 12-12. And it's East Blue traded, so it's something that's going to synergize with Jin, which is such a powerful card that it's maybe worth it. We'll need to see the East Blue support for this card. Obviously, we've seen the Nami so far, but we'll need to keep an eye on these. Now, obviously, we've got Arlong here, who is yellow-green, and this is a much better effect than when we first saw it. So this is Don 2 when attacking, pay 1, play up to 1 character card with a cost of 4 or less with trigger from your hand. So this is much better, like night and day difference. This is actually quite playable. This is basically cheating out a 4-cost 4/3, but you are swinging for 7. This is similar to that Doflamingo effect, right? That blue Doffy effect. Except instead of checking the top card and kind of needing to stack it, well, you can keep it in your hand, and that's going to be more consistent. But obviously, it's less value because you're losing a card from your hand. So I think this is a very balanced trade-off. The fact that this is dual color, to the benefit and to the detriment. Obviously, yellow is going to have a large number of very powerful triggers, and getting access to SRs like Charlotte Linlin is kind of crazy. So I think there is a lot going for this, but again, we've seen in this game, dual color leaders really need to be doing something very busted to make up for that 1 life differential. And I think especially with yellow now entering the game, when there's this potential for life healing, that's going to be kind of crazy. Though, again, that's an advantage Arlong here has, because if you get 1 heal throughout the game, just a single heal, suddenly you're on even playing field to basically every other monocolor leader outside of those in yellow. So that is kind of nuts. Definitely a leader to keep an eye on, even if you don't use the effect like basically ever. Okay, then we've got Nami, and this is one I'm most excited for. Just as an aside, if you pull an ult out of this, this is probably going to be the most expensive leader in the set, and the reason I'm saying that is because it's Nami. We've seen just how expensive every Nami card has been so far, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So as an additional rule, when your deck reaches 0 cards, you win the match instead of losing it. So this is a self-mill deck, which is super cool, super unique, and kind of one of those things where your opponent is going to potentially struggle to disrupt the game plan, and you're actively incentivized to just not die. So you're actually going to end up playing this deck, I think, much more differently, much like in a more unique way, and definitely very differently to how current decks are being played. So I'm very excited for that. And then Don 1, when your opponent takes damage to their life through the attack of this leader, you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck. So obviously, you swing for 6, you get to pressure, and you get to get 3 mills out of it. That's fine. Obviously, the main effect we're using this for is the second one, and we're going to see a card that got revealed today, which is going to be milling a lot more than 1. That is going to be potentially quite nuts. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for this leader. Okay, then we've got Iceberg, and this is another really cool leader. For once, purple getting a non-garbage leader in the main set. Crazy. So this leader cannot attack. So you might see that and be like, well, that's bad. But hold on. Activate main, Don -1. Play. You may rest this leader. So you're not doing anything with it anyway, so that's fine. Play up to 1 character with the Galileo Company type with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. So this is weirdly a card you're happy with doing that Don minus pretty much every turn, right? Like, who gives a shit? You're playing out a cost of 5 or less. What were you using that Don for anyway? It's not like this leader is attacking, right? This is potentially kind of insane, but also potentially total garbage. And it's really going to come down to what kind of Galileo Company cards we see in the set. So I think this is one where I can't evaluate it out at the moment. It's in a vacuum, it seems like it has potential to be garbage, potential to be crazy. It's all going to depend on those Galileo companies, but definitely going to play very differently to a lot of leaders in the game at the moment. So I think, set 3 looking super exciting. Then we have got Rob, Lucci, Bob, Gucci, CP9 traded. We've spoken of this already. Once per turn, on your turn, you may discard 2 cards from your hand. When an opponent's character is KO'd, set this leader is active. We did say potentially swinging 15 twice is crazy, but again, you're going to have to... It's going to be one of those things where you need to make it work in terms of how you're removing those cards, you're going to swing into it, like what's happening here. So we'll need to see the support around this guy to see if he's any good. But I do feel like black monocolor leaders don't have like super great effects at the moment. I don't think Smoker's anything crazy. I think Sakazuki is kind of bad, is way too expensive. So this may see play by virtue of just being slightly better. So we will need to see. Though I do feel like at the moment Smoker is better in isolation. Charlotte Linlin, dual color, black, yellow, and this is nuts. Don 2, when attacking, pay 2. You may trash 1 card from your hand. If you have 1 or less cards in your life area, place up to 1 card on the top of your deck on top of your life area. So this is a heal 1. And the potential for you to do this every single turn later on in the game is a little bit insane. However, I do think that is very much looking like a worst case scenario. I think it's unlikely to be the case you're going to be able to do that. But even, again, you do this once. Just a singular time, and you're definitely going to be able to do this once. This literally puts you as if you were a monocolor leader, and this is baked in. This is right baked in. If you do this more than once, it's like, you're even better. It's like you're a 0 color leader, right? So this is something that is really, really interesting to me. Again, we're really going to have to see. But with the restriction here, it's like somehow less of a restriction because you only start off with 4 life, so you only need to lose 3. And the odds of that happening, pretty high. So yeah, this is going to be one of those cards your opponent's going to have to basically try and take you from 2 to 0. They're going to have to really build up that super aggressive turn. So I'm really, really excited to see this card. This synergizes with Prometheus, and we're going to see Zeus, we're going to see Prometheus in a second. So yeah, super, super excited for this card. This is one of the leaders I'm most looking forward to playing in the next set, in set 3 rather. Okay, then we got Charlotte Katakuri. Don 1 when attacking, look up to 1 life card from either your or your opponent's life area, put it either on top of one of their life area, and then the seed gains 1k. I stand by my opinion that I think the starter deck Big Mom is better, especially with those synergies, but I do think there is definitely room for Katakuri. Fundamentally, swinging 7 every single turn and just getting that kind of information is really, really good. So, yeah, I don't think this is bad by any means. My preference is just with Big Mom, but I think these are both fantastic cards. Okay, then we've got a few more starter deck cards. We've got Charlotte Montdor. This is a 3/4. So again, synergy with the stage. Trigger, you may trash a card from your hand to play this card. So I'm really not a fan of that trigger because it's bloody expensive. You're not really getting anything. It's, you know, that does kind of suck, but I guess you are developing board. What happens with this card? Activate main, you may rest this character and add the top or bottom card of your life area to your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. God damn, that's expensive. I feel like you've got to be healing a lot for this card to be worth it. I don't think this is going to see any play. It just seems so expensive for what it does. Outside of the scenario where, like, you probably play 1 to 2 copies of this just in case your opponent is just not attacking you and not dealing with your life at all. So to try and deny you card advantage in this sort of damage deny strat. So there's that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all. Then we have got Charlotte Daifuku. This is a 4/5, so no synergy with the stage, with 1k counter. Don 1, when attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. Place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life area. So I think this is pretty good. This is, in as many words, says Don 1, draw 1. And if this said Don 1, draw 1, I'd be like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Especially since now you have that interaction to potentially stack it. I think this is really, really good. Probably I mean, we've seen just how good cards that draw and attack are. So yeah, I think this is really, really powerful. Definitely going to see play. Then we've got Prometheus. Activate main, you may rest this card up to one of your Charlotte Linlins against double attack. So as you can imagine, if you have Prometheus and Zeus, you have a double attack banish combo. Yamato, eat your heart out, because I just make my leader double attack, double attack banish, slap like 5 Dons on go's face. That would be terrifying. This is a terrifying combo. I definitely think banish is better to have, because double attack, yes, it's really good. Don't get me wrong, like knocking 2 out, but banish, just denying that card advantage, I feel like is so good. But they're both really powerful. I wouldn't think less of you if you thought double attack was better. Having access to these is crazy. The triggers are very powerful, consistently getting them. Yeah, I think this is going to be a combo in that in any Charlotte Linlin deck that is going to be absolutely terrifying. And yeah, something you're going to be very, very worried about. Super, super good. Okay, then we got Firefest. So our first alt art event card, and this is on main. You may discard 1 event card from your hand. KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less, and up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. And as a trigger, you just do the KO with 5k. This is insane, especially when you consider that Ace is going to be, I believe, subtracting your opponent's entire board of either 2 or 3k. I think it's 3k, which means you're killing an 8 and a 7. Even if it's 2k, you're killing a 7 and a 6. That is crazy. This is nuts. Obviously, yes, you're losing 2. It's 2 for 2, but man, it's a high value 2 for 2. I think this is phenomenally powerful, amazing at all stages of the game. 5 and 4 is so relevant. Like, that is, it's really, really good. And obviously, like, you know, every time you increase that even by a little bit, it gets absolutely crazy. Yeah, a super big fan of this. This is the most staple 4 in Ace I've ever seen. And even outside of Ace, I think this is probably going to see some play. And it's just a beautiful card. This looks absolutely phenomenal. Then we got Cut Mochi. So this is a 2-cost event. Main, if you have less life than your opponent, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So reminder, in in blue, in black, yellow, Big Mom, this is just, it's just active. The trigger plays a character with a cost of 4 or less with trigger from your hand, so that's fine. Oh, also, this is instantly active in Arlong, so that's cool. So, you know, nuts. And as an effect, right, like 2, remove a 4. Very efficient in cost, very, very powerful. 4 costs are everywhere, 4 costs and below. This is so good. This is so good. I feel like this has got to be a stable 4. It just seems so powerful to just be removing these kind of tools, removing blockers, removing your opponent's key attackers. This just seems incredibly powerful to me. Then we got a few of these cards that were leaked a little while ago. These are Odyssey cards that are in the set. So Lim, this is a 3/2 blocker on the opponent's turn. When this card is KO'd, give -2k up to 1 of your opponent's leaders or characters during this turn. Meh, seems kind of mid. And then ADO, this is a 4/5. Don 1, when attacking your opponent, cannot activate blocker of character with 2k power or less during this battle, and plus 1k counter. So this is that Shanks effect. This is a little better. Swinging for 6, your opponent can't chump blocker it away, but I really feel like it's set 3, we have moved well past that kind of effect being any good. So yeah, these look like just pack filler to promote the Odyssey game. Finally, today's card reveal, we have got Zephyr. Let him cook! Oh, my man is cooking. 5/6 East Blue traded. Don 1, when your opponent takes damage to their life through the attack of this character, you may trash 7 cards on top of your deck. So basically, your opponent's never letting this hit ever. This is guaranteed to force a huge amount. But this is crazy, right? Because all you do is slap 3 Dons on this guy, which is very easy to do by, you're playing this on 5. Let's say you play this on turn 3, right? You curve into it going first. The next turn you've got 7 Dons, just slap 3 onto this guy's swing face. Your opponent is either dropping 5k in counter from their hand, which, very nice, or you're milling 7, which is getting you like 25% closer to your win con, which is so good. And then the on play, bounce a character that costs 3 or less, and then you may trash 2 cards on top of your deck, which, by the way, that bounce 3 or less, really good at dealing with blockers, really good at, there's a lot of 3 or less characters that are really, really good, or recycling your own powerful on plays, and this has a 1k counter. The most obvious staple 4 of Nami I have ever seen. This continues the trend, but basically if a card gets an altar, it's just going to be a staple in some deck. Yeah, this is just so powerful. So there we go. That is the the whole load of cards we've gotten recently. Sorry it took me so long to get this out, but yeah, as you can tell, I'm so excited for set 3. The fact that set 2 isn't out in English gives me intense pain, especially when I realise that it's still 2 months away. Man, that sucks, but I am very excited for it. I'm very excited for set 3. Set 1 is super fun, but man, looking at all these cards, I really wish Bandai would speed up that release just a little bit so we can get these cards simultaneously. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, please like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. As I said, 80% of you are not subscribed, and that makes my little heart really sad. If you enjoyed the video, please do like the video as well. Join my Discord server to talk about all things One Piece. If you're interested in Battle Spirit Saga as well, I make videos on that. It's another Bandai game, so you can subscribe for that. Also, get Ruler and Lorcana if you're interested in those. And thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.